Cencius, formerly one of the richest and most controversial players in all of North America. Maybe not a household name for most of the EarthMC player base, but a very known player to all of North America, which is where I live. Because I live in North America, I was very familiar with Cencius, having to deal with him on a daily basis. I worked my life on EarthMC around Cencius, up until the end, when he was banned. So today I want to go over who Cencius is, what he did, and why he's gone. Before I get into the full video though, I just want to ask you, the viewer, to please subscribe to my beautiful and amazing channel. The amount it does for me far outweighs the amount of hassle it is for you, so if you could, just subscribe to the channel. There will be consequences if you don't, so anyways, enjoy the video. So Cencius, where do I start with this guy? The amount he has impacted my life on EarthMC, and technically in real life, putting me in a genuinely bad mood with his antics, is unmatched by anybody I've ever known on EarthMC. I guess I should start from the first point I learned of his presence on the server, when he first moved to Illinois. At this point, Illinois was a relatively unintimidating nation, going from player to player ownership-wise. It hadn't had a real owner who wanted to build the nation for many months. But then came Cencius. He had plans for Illinois. He saw an empty area of land in a desirable location. He saw an empire, a PvP nation, taking over all of central USA. And it was perfect for this. No large nations in their way, no empires claiming land around them, only small ragtag nations with 20 or less residents. Now, one of those ragtag nations I'm referring to was named Minnesota. Minnesota's my nation, and I've resided here on and off for over a year now. So our paths met. He was not under the impression anybody would challenge him on his mission to become an empire. But here I was, minding my own business in Minnesota. Now I heard Illinois had a new leader, and they were planning on taking stuff over. But it felt like a Rupert's Land situation. A nation that had all the talk, and was feared by many, but when it came to it, did nothing. But as time went on, we learned that this was not the case for Cencius' Illinois. He immediately started expanding Chicago and building new houses and government buildings. Then the expansion of the nation started. See, one thing that made Cencius special was his wealth. He has always been known as one of the richest players on the server, having tens of thousands of gold at any given time. This allowed him to get really anything he wanted. He could buy any nation he wanted. He could get any kind of gear, material, or item he desired. But it also meant that he could claim pretty much any amount of land he wanted at any time. So he immediately started getting new towns around the Midwest and claiming land at an alarming rate. They quickly took all of northern Illinois, then moved into Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and into the South, now claiming a lot of the central eastern United States. This was in a quieter time in American history, hence why he had the ability to do this. But it also meant he had claimed a lot of land with nobody to stop him. But what we would notice is that as activity in North America went on a rise again, and new nations slowly started getting bigger in the area, Illinois had a tough time adjusting to the fact that there were more nations with active residents. Nations who wanted the land Illinois had claims to. This created an enemy for Cencius. An enemy that would shape his time on EarthMC until the end. This was obviously the USA. Now the USA consisted of a lot of nations around Eastern America, being founded by New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and America, but then gaining nations like Ohio, New York, and my nation, Minnesota. Now this USA was an immediate red flag for Cencius and Illinois, because even though they weren't actively trying to take their land, the USA had nations on either side of Illinois, and these nations were growing. They were growing in every direction, which resulted in a lot of the nations expanding into Illinois-claimed land. Now these nations were not doing this maliciously, but were just making ill-advised decisions to expand in areas that weren't theirs. So Illinois saw their chance to take out this new USA, threatening their land, and they took it, declaring war with their supernation Trimortem. They cited border violations as their main reason for the war, which was a respectable reason to declare war. This caused many other nations to back them up in this war, seeing a nation struggling with border agreements and wanting to help, turning into a sort of server-wide conflict. Now, I've made a lot of videos on the topic of the Illinois-USA conflict, so I won't go in depth on what exactly happened in every situation. If you want those details, go and watch these videos. Anyways, they far outnumbered the USA at every battle, and pretty easily won this war, finally making peace with the USA again. Now, this wasn't real peace, though, and he was still hostile against members of the US, killing residents of nations like Minnesota and Ohio when given the chance. Cencius also tried to destroy the USA from the inside, planning to start an alliance called the Federation with the USA. His plan with this was to run for presidency and win, then basically taking control of the USA, in turn collapsing it, causing a second war against them. This war went on for a while, seeming endless for members of Illinois and USA. Fighting was endless, and Cencius was attempting to do anything he could to get rid of them. But while this war went on, something else happened that in the end was Cencius' downfall. This was the Nether Reset. Resetting on February 21st, 2021. Now this was a fairly normal day for most. A lot of the more active players gained lots of gold mining in the nether. One of these players was obviously Cencius. It was a good opportunity for a person who already mined every day to continue being as rich as he was. Now I don't know a lot of the details about exactly what happened. Cencius didn't tell the world, but what I do know is that at some point he started X-raying in the nether to find netherite and gold. This was obviously not shared with anybody else. I'll get into his nation's involvement in this drama in a bit, but for now we just know that this was where he started X-raying in the nether. Now this isn't to say he hadn't cheated in other ways. I think this is a funny time to bring up when somebody told Cencius that they had something bannable on him, and they were reporting him to the staff, and then he immediately gave his nation to his friend Smithy so that if he did get banned, his nation wouldn't go down with him. This obviously meaning he was doing something bannable at that point, which I think is really funny. Like, there's no other way or reason why this would happen. So then he continued to do what he was doing. Make gold, continue his nation, all routine for him. But the USA was now one of the only things that kept him going. As I'm sure a lot of you know, it's hard to play EarthMC at a rate like Cencius did without getting bored. And he was getting bored. The USA war was eventful enough to keep him going, but with the war coming to an end and the USA collapsing, one of the only things keeping him going disappeared. So obviously he was getting bored of EarthMC. He talked about this after he was banned, how he was looking for a way to get out of EarthMC. But finally he was given that way out. On September 29th, Cencius was banned for X-raying in the nether. This was obviously a long time coming. I was aware he was doing bannable things and almost made a video on it a while before he was actually banned. But alas, I was given a better video to make, now that he is banned and gone. Anyways, I'll talk about his Discord announcement about the ban, but first I wanted to talk about his friend Smithy, who's still playing the server. He was a close companion of Cencius, and obviously a good friend of his. They ran the nation together through well before he started X-raying, up until his ban. Being so close to each other, it was quite obvious Smithy must have known that Cencius was hacking well before he was banned. He allegedly talked about hacking to his friends, and with Smithy being one of his biggest friends, it was obvious that he would know. There's just really no other way that this could go. I suspect Smithy will end up getting banned at some point. It just feels like it's pretty obvious that he was actually aware of Cencius' X-raying before he got banned. And because this is so obvious, I'm sure one of the staff team members will find something on him. And the reign of Illinois will come to an end. But it will go on for now. Now I want to talk about Cencius' ban message on the Illinois Discord. So here it is. After months, the obsessed mod team have finally gotten enough evidence to ban one of us. I've been banned from EarthMC for X-ray in Nether. Since we bought Illinois, me and Smithy have dominated North America and PvP. We have become some of the richest, and all of my riches, such as my 30,000 gold, 3 tridents, dubs of God gear, will be going to Smithy so he can continue to grow Illinois. So obviously his money isn't going anywhere. It's going to continue being on EarthMC, which is sad, but I think it'll disappear at some point. Next he says, I kinda saw this coming, as Fruit Lupins is obsessed with me and has apparently been watching me mine for months. This has been going on for about a month, ever since he went through all of my chat logs for no reason at all. He then tried to warn me for alting, which he had no evidence of, and so I got unwarned. I'd just like to add in real quick here that he never actually said he didn't ult, which is pretty funny because he obviously was ulting. He then took my enchanted stick 2 weeks ago too. Now apparently the tunnels in the nether that were dug 7 months ago didn't match the way I was mining in the overworld. So obviously we get from this that Fruit Lupins was looking at past places that Cencius had mined, and he saw something in the nether that didn't match what he had been watching Cencius mine in the overworld. It must have been significant to get him banned, meaning that it was like very obviously going straight to gold, because it has to be something bannable. So that's pretty easy to tell. Ever since the NAP USA war ended, I have kinda wanted a way out of EarthMC. Ever since that time, I haven't really found it fun, but stayed on to uphold my nation and community. And Smithy was gone too. Now Smithy is back active again. I'm more happy that Illinois is back in his hands. I don't think Illinois will really do that well without Cencius, but I guess we'll give him a chance here. But yeah, he basically says here that he wanted a way out of EarthMC, which I get. If I wasn't literally making money on the server, I would say I probably wouldn't be playing anymore. I just want to add in real quick here that I am still having fun, but that is specifically because of my YouTube channel and everything I'm doing here. Anyways, we really have done some spectacular things on EarthMC, like unite the continent against the USA, create the most powerful alliance in America, and beat the USA in 2 wars, ultimately destroying them. Now, I have nothing to say here because he did accomplish that. As much as I hate Cencius, he did exactly what he wanted to do, which was destroy the USA. I don't understand why he wanted to do that personally, and it endlessly just gets on my nerves, and I know that he knows that and likes that. Now, Cencius is really just a genuinely awful person. As talked about on the Reddit a couple months ago, he said like racial slurs and crap. He's one of the worst people that I've met on EarthMC, so it's really awesome that he's gone now. Anyways, not much more to say here. Cencius is gone, and hip hip hooray, I guess. I don't know, it's nice to see him gone, but I will miss the endless wars between Illinois and the USA. Thank you all very much for watching. Kashgali, I hope you enjoyed it. Toothbrush.